So, how long will us investors in the IQD have to wait before Iraq is allowed to liberate its own currency? Why do I say, now is the time? We know they are completely out of Chapter 7 sanctions since December 2022, and so why not treat them as such? We know they want the Iraq funds, nearly $115 plus billion, released from the NY banks and put in their custody to do what they want with it. We know they have plans for yet more sovereign funds to invest their reserves. We know they are making agreements now for currency swaps, and will no longer be using any US dollars in Iraq as of January 1, 2024. I know it looks like Parliament is trying to delay the monetary reform. They keep breaking the crayons for Sudani and Alak. I have heard some very encouraging things about the next 4 days. Banks are excited. And banking personnel believe we are very close. In a nutshell, it points to the next 4 or 5 days for our announcements. This is what I think is funny about these so-called professionals. They start off by telling you the Iraqi dinar is never going revalue, and then they turn around and tell you, well, there is some possibilities. Either it is or it isn't. Why don't you just be honest about the Iraqi dinar? The dinar is not a scam. It's a legitimate currency. Can it increase in value? Of course it could. Think everything is in full prep mode, ready to roll. Now what could happen we don't know. Do not know if tomorrow is in play. Thanksgiving night might be in play for notifications. Start of everything could be Friday. You know, we just don't know. I think it is possible they will let us have our numbers and we set our appointments for Friday. Yes, it's going to revalue. When? I don't know. But it's going to revalue. They have to revalue. If you look at the history and you look at the wealth Iraq has, it's real. What's going on is real. The revolution of the dinar is there. The reinstatement is there. They're going to have to reinstate. The dinar was down because of the war and the sanctions. Iraq got heavily sanctions. But now the country is going back to normal. The dollar in Iraq. Baghdad is planning permanent solutions with Washington, and Parliament describes the dialogues as successful. Quote, Monday, November 20, 2023, an informed source reported an expected meeting between the Central Bank of Iraq and the U.S. Treasury Department next week. In Iraq they are talking about how de-dollarization is working. And now that they have opened banks using other currencies, it has greatly reduced their reliance on the U.S. dollar. On Wednesday, the Chambers of Commerce held Washington responsible for the dollar crisis in Iraqi markets. The head of the Diyala Chambers of Commerce, Mohammed Al-Tamimi, said in an interview with Al-Maloma that the dollar has turned into an economic pressure tool in the hands of America in an attempt to influence the decisions of countries for years, including Iraq, pointing out that the parallel market crisis and the rise in the dollar exchange rate are borne by Washington in proportion. Not less than 60%.